Hello, my name is Agatha. My email is dunyazade@gmail.com. And I'm gonna read to you a short story, a creepy short story named Friends, written by me, Agatha Simões. And if you'd like to hire a ghostwriter, I'm the one, okay? I'm just showing you how I write so you can make that decision. I can write in English and I can write in Portuguese. So this is a short story named Friends, and my rates are for every 50,000 words, only $700. That's a 7, an O, and an O. I'm sorry, not dollars, euros. 700 euros, not dollars, okay? 50,000 words, 700 euros for a novelette, whatever. You can see how I write and then you can hire me. I'll be delighted. So, this is the story. Friends. She's the girl who only has guy friends, 'cause they vibe, 'cause they're cool and understand her. She really never connected with girls her age or women at all. She's the one who throws her whole body to a guy's chest in a confident, all-inclusive, hyper-happy hug. She has a nice body, but doesn't really care, she deceivingly states. Her personality, breezy, is the thing that wins over most people. Well, most men. Because for some weird reason, and repeating myself, Lee never really vibed with girls. If you can sense contempt in my voice, I compliment your keen perception. I despise women like her. I can read her clearly, but choose to maintain my conclusions private. For the record, anyone with a wee bit of intuition could see Lee had flagrant low self-esteem, probably derived from some childhood neglect, keeping her immature, clingy, and weak. These traits were hidden, never discussed, no matter the depth of their friendship, because she thought these so-called friends would vanish the moment her vulnerabilities were out in the open. Therefore, Lee was always cheerful, always dressed in an inappropriate manner, showing abundant skin, either legs or bosom, excusing her manner of dress by her quirky, exotic, hippie, discombobulated sense of fashion. One day, I was stuck with her. There was a fuel strike. However, our work still had to be done, so we were put in teams that would be picked up by the company charter at several points in the city and then return to the same places at night at the end of the shift. It was nice to be driven for once. I could use that time to sleep, relax, close my eyes, read a book, listen to a podcast with full attention. As if. Lee would be quiet in the beginning, but in 2 days it was impossible to shut her up. Everybody loved her bubbly, fucking annoying personality. Thank God she didn't speak to me. However, her constant cackling was disturbing my inner peace and getting on my nerves. One day, the van broke down. Some colleagues waited for new transport. The wait could be up to 2 hours, while others carried on foot. I decided to walk home as well, even though it could be more than an hour walking. I didn't care. That night, Lee was really driving me nuts. I said my goodbyes to the people who stayed and left Other colleagues who left went in different directions. It meant Lee had to stay behind, but for some odd reason, after 10 minutes, I see her running towards me, screaming her lungs out. Oh, thank God! I thought I had to walk alone. It's gonna take hours. It could be 3, 4 hours. No way I'm waiting that long. We'll walk together. It'll be fun, like Girl Scouts. And with that, she grabbed my arm, nuzzling her own inside mine. I let her because, honestly, I was stunned and tired. I just wanted my warm bed. Plus, what was I to do? For the next 15 minutes, Lee graced me with full details of her working day. Dear Lord, she was irritating. She did sound chirpy, but her fear was visible. I hate nighttime. I had nightmares when I was a kid, and Father turned off my bedroom light, saying I was a big girl and didn't need a light on anymore. I was 7. The confession startled me. I kept quiet though. I had no wish to start sharing confidences. Silence was best. That's in the past, Lee suddenly said, with a smile meant to be joyous, but it came out creepy, fearful, and gloomy. Her fear somehow crawled into my skin, veins and bones, in a feathery, spidery web-like sensation. I'm not someone who scares easily, but now a rather ominous, overflowing, and rapid sense of doom seemed determined to enter my cognizance and eat forcibly away at my peace of mind and spirit. It was an interesting feeling, and somehow I knew it didn't belong to me. It had came from her, like a virus, and it was trying to penetrate my soul. It was fairly easy to shoo it away, but it did intrigue me. I looked at Lee. She was silent and seemed to make an effort not to show her increasing anxiety. She stopped and took out a cigarette. Need a smoke, it's too cold. She smoked in short, rapid breaths, as if determined to something, a sort of remedy or casting off a protective spell to keep something at bay. I waited. Her face was turned to the road, while mine looked upon the woods. We walked on the roadside, no cars passed. The woods were deep and long. There was very little light, and the moon was mostly hidden by clouds. It would still be a long stretch of walking until we reached our town. Suddenly, in the distance, a man appeared, walking through the trees and towards us. We stood close to an almost solitary lit street light. They were few and in between, and not all worked. I saw the stranger stop just before the light could fully unveil his features. It was an old man with a bag. He smiled almost in a gentle way. Now a little break for, again, my ad. I'm a ghostwriter for hire, so hire me. I only, for 15,000 words, written words, fully yours, fully original, I only charge 700 euros. So, for instance, 15,000 words, that would be a novelette. 30,000 words, that would be more or less a novella. You can see how I write going to Amazon. I have a book there. I actually have several in English. There's a fiction book, like comedy, kind of. It's called Werewolf Angel. And it's about an angel that gets transformed into an werewolf and what he needs to do to get transformed back into an angel. And it's funny. Well, to me it's funny. So You can see how I write there, and you can see by this short story how I write. Also, you can hire me in Portuguese if you want. So, going back to the short story. Lee gasped when she saw him. She seemed about to be completely conquered and shackled by fear. Her hands shook, her body trembled, and she couldn't speak. I, in turn, was just mildly curious. The man took off his bag, placed it in the ground, and started removing objects from it. They seemed to glow and sparkle. Golden statuettes, silver coins, shiny jewels. He motioned with his hand for us to come closer. I think we better leave, I said, not trusting this guy even though I wasn't afraid. But Lee went to him almost hypnotized. I tried to stop her and grabbed her arm. It's dangerous. You don't know this guy. There might be others hidden in the trees. Lee! Let go of me, she whispered like a snake, and kept walking. Then suddenly turned, facing me to say, You think you're better than me. Women like you always think they're better than me. All buttoned up, too respectable even to say hi. Screw you. Keep walking. I wasn't sharing anyway. She turned away, walked up to the stranger, crouched down and glared at the treasure trove of shiny objects, mesmerized. I quickly left. No, I lied. I ran. Something told me I should run. The search for her was called off in 5 days. The authorities believed my tale, and no one could picture me murdering Lee. Plus, I was not even 90 pounds, too skinny to pose any viable threat. Lee was taller and in shape, always on about the great workout at the gym. She lifted weights, so she said, though I don't doubt it. Anything to get the guy's attention and admiration, especially in tight yoga pants. She was just so transparent. Anyway, she exercised a lot. Lee could overpower me easily. I saw the cops seizing me up and down, quickly realizing the same. Our co-worker wasn't found. Not in weeks, not in months. No body, nothing. After 4 months of her disappearing, I started having nightmares. I saw Lee's rotting corpse following me in the road as I ran. Or awake, I'd witness as a stranger across the street would transform into some horrifying, disgusting entity. I'd blink and everything was back to normal. So I gave my notice and moved to the other side of the country, even without a job. The nightmares stopped. However, the road where Lee disappeared, I was told, was too active, and eventually the authorities closed it down. People kept dying or disappearing there. Cars would malfunction constantly. They would be found abandoned the next day, sometimes days after. Even a few cars from the 1950s reappeared in that cursed road. People just went missing at an increasing pace, and no one would hear from them again. The company itself almost closed, but managed to survive. I quickly found another job and resumed my life normally. But now I know. Unseen, frightful, evil things lurk in the dark, waiting for us. The end. Okay, this is my short story. Original, written by me, Agatha Ramos Simões. Again, if you'd like to hire me as your ghostwriter, in English, also in Portuguese, I also write in Portuguese, since I was 21 actually. I actually even won literary prizes in Portuguese in Portugal. So for 700 euros, I'll give you 15,000 original words. For instance, a novelette. You can have your, something already set up, and you could buy one of my stories, For instance, I can transform that story, increase it, if you'd like, with, I pay for that story, my own original story. But if you have like an idea, a story, whatever, 15,000 words, 700 euros. My email, dunyazade@gmail.com. I am open to business. Okay, that's it. Again, email dunyazade@gmail.com. Bye bye.